I'm Bill Evans, and this is Thoughts from a Tolerant Man. I've been encouraged to produce a podcast to supplement my book, and I promise production values will improve as I go along. Meanwhile, here is the first episode. I've spent a lot of time over the past few years looking back, trying to understand how certain moments stay with us while others don't. This reflection eventually led to my book, which was largely shaped by my solo cross-country bicycle trip and the solitude that gave me. But there are things that don't want to stay on the page, they want to be spoken. This podcast comes from the same place as the book as it moves toward publication, not to explain anything or persuade anyone, but to sit with a few moments that shaped how I see people and the effect they had on me. I think sometimes a story does better than an explanation. I was 18 years old, flying from San Antonio, Texas to Los Angeles en route to Oakland, California, from where I would board a ship that would take me to Korea. On the plane, I was seated next to a nun. She may have been one of the most personable people I ever met, and even with the short amount of time we had together, I learned a lot. I think we probably talked from the time we sat down until we got off the plane. Along the way, we were served the in-flight meal. The tray contained something you simply don't see anymore. There were 2 individually wrapped cigarettes. The nun graciously offered me hers, which, as the only person in the army at that time that I knew that didn't smoke was me, I politely declined, but it was very thoughtful of her. When I got off the plane and went to the gate for the next leg of my trip, I was very concerned by the number of other soldiers milling about, clearly looking to get on the plane as we were flying on a space available basis. We did not all get on the plane. I think I was lucky enough to be the last person that did. Even luckier was the person that I got to sit next to. He was a businesswoman, probably about the age of my mother, and she probably asked me more questions in the first 5 minutes after I sat down than anyone had ever asked me, starting with, "Where are you en route to?" So I explained how once I get to San Francisco, I would be looking to find a bus that would take me around the bay to Oakland. And my understanding was that it involved a few changes and probably would take between 1 and 2 hours. She looked at me and said, "Why don't you simply take the helicopter? That will only be about a 20-minute flight." She was coming from the perspective, of an executive. And she said, "No, I think I probably laughed a little bit. And she said, "No, you don't get it. You're military, so you can fly half price." And so that's what I did. At the time, I didn't connect the 2 moments at all. One was a nun offering me cigarettes on a flight west, and the other, a businesswoman showing me an alternative way across the bay. Different people, different worlds. But looking back, what stays with me is not what they offered, but that they noticed. I was 18 years old. I didn't ask for help. I didn't even know enough to know that I needed it. They didn't give me advice. No one made a speech. They just paid attention and acted quietly. I've come to think that a lot of what we call tolerance looks like that. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't convince anyone. It just shows up, often briefly, And when you don't always realize how much it matters. These moments didn't feel important to me at the time, but like others, they've stayed with me and they've helped shape how I see people and how I'm trying to treat them. That's a thought from a tolerant man.